Hello, my friends. My name is Evelyn Joy, and welcome back to my channel. I'm a VIPKID teacher, and so I'm interested about what's going on in China with the education and private tutoring industries. Currently, we are watching a lot unfold as new laws that were passed by China affect our jobs as online ESL teachers. And I'm going to talk about the various companies and how they have been affected so far as of today, August 24th, and what companies have shut down, what companies have made changes, how they've made changes, and what's on the horizon for us. And then we're going to look at two different articles I have about how this is affecting um, the tutoring industry in China as a whole and what all the laws entail. So first, the most recent things that have happened are Wales English closed their doors and ended all classes. They actually moved their money and their address to Hong Kong. Uh, Strangely enough, a subscriber of mine who commented on a video gave me the new address of Wales English and Data ABC. You see, he works for both companies, and he told me that they are now sharing an address. Very interesting. He said perhaps they have the same, maybe the same person giving them advice, tax advice, right? I don't know. But they both moved their finances, Data ABC and Wales English, they both moved their finances to Hong Kong, which makes parents believe that they might not get refunded. We will see. We are hoping teachers will be paid on time for the work that they have done in the month of August. But Wales English closed their doors, and they will not be continuing classes. They are, however, in communication still with parents and teachers. They say to the teachers, your 18 days of work from August 1st to August 18th will be paid September 15th. So we are waiting to see if they're telling the truth. We sure hope so. Some teachers are very confident that they're a good company and they'll be honest. Now, we'll see. I'm not as familiar. All right. So just hopes and prayers that they get paid for that. And my condolences for losing your job to all of the Wales English teachers. Data ABC just cut off classes. They say the next 8 days there will not be classes. They're acting and saying that September 1st they'll be back. Meanwhile, just hundreds of parents, if not thousands, think that none of us will have jobs starting September 1st because that's when school in China will be back in session. Some online, as there are 5 cities that are going down in lockdown, and just varying degrees of lockdown depending on the city. So that's Data ABC and Wales English. VIPKID has sent out notices to a few teachers, and they put in their update that they are hiring, they're paying a few teachers to make recorded classes. Now that's a bit of a warning sign to us VIPKID teachers because Wales English, after letting everyone go and ending their company, they then contacted the teachers and said, hey, who would like to do some recorded classes for us? And they're contacting the parents and saying, instead of getting a refund, how about you watch some recorded classes? And they're actually that's what they're offering to the parents. A few parents have gotten a refund from Wales English, but we are doubtful if very many more will. We don't know. Time will tell. So I want to look at what some other companies have done. Palfish fired a lot of their staff in China, and they cut the pay for the teachers. A lot of teachers quit because of the pay cut. Free Talk, as of when this was updated, was still hiring. Now, just because a company is still hiring, such as VIPKID, it should not give you hope that they'll stay open much longer because many companies, such as GoGoKid closed their doors, ended their classes just abruptly and let everyone go. And they were still hiring and giving hiring incentives up until the very last day. So just because a company is still hiring, don't let that give you false hope because many of these companies were still hiring when they closed their doors. But HeyTalk is still hiring as of when this post was updated. First Future announced a hiring freeze. Zebra English has canceled all future workshops. All teacher management staff has been let go. Trial classes have been stopped. Classes with regular students will continue until their packages run out. Now, a lot of these companies are saying that, such as Wales English said that the people would be able to finish their packages, and then they went back on their word on that and said, sorry, we're closing. Same with Data ABC, right? So we're starting to maybe not trust the companies that are saying that. Magic Ears, they reduced their staff and laid off employees. Students can finish out their packages, and then Magic Ears plans on closing. QKids is not hiring. Protostar is trying to expand outside of Asia. VIPKID has mentioned trying to do that as well and has a few efforts for that. EF, I believe that's English First, stopped the program for ages 6 and under and is trying to change curriculum to meet the new regulations. 51 Talk is not going to be hiring foreign teachers anymore. And GoGo Kid stopped all classes, I already said. So GoGo Kid has closed down. Wales English has closed down. Data ABC has said that they're closing for 8 days and that they'll be back September 1st, but there's a lot of parents that think starting September 1st, there may not be classes for any of us. Now, VIPKID, I'm going to talk a little bit more about them because I am with VIPKID. We are seeing that, yes, their promises of adult classes is beginning. They are advertising like crazy in China, trying to get some adults to sign up. They have a few teachers, maybe 100 or less. I don't know how many, but not very many teachers that are teaching adults now. We don't know what the rate of pay for that will be. They are looking at teaching outside of China, but we just don't know. We have 100,000 teachers. It's looking like a lot of us sooner rather than later are probably not going to have jobs. They continue to hire. Some of our mentors, our hiring mentors, have quit because they felt it was unethical to be hiring people when surely the people are probably going to lose their jobs soon. But yeah, that's what's going on with VIPKID. We have teachers, of course, that have high hopes for the company, as the company has made some lofty promises, but at the same time, VIPKID has been hiring foreigners that live inside of China and Chinese teachers in order to teach our students. And so I really honestly, just my prediction, I don't think VIPKID is going to just really last all that much longer as far as for us American and Canadian teachers, right? All right, so I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to share an article with you guys. I actually have 2 articles I want to share. This is called End of an Era. One second. Okay, there we go. I can make it bigger. Okay, cool. End of an era as China puts an end to for-profit tutoring companies. On July 23rd, 2021, Beijing, an internal government file titled Opinions on Further Reducing the Workload of Students in Compulsory Education and the Burden of Off-Campus Training spread through the internet, revealing new harsh regulations on Chinese education companies. These regulations include preventing these companies from going public or being acquired, forbidding foreign teachers outside of mainland China from teaching. That's us. Prohibiting advertising and marketing. Interesting. A complete summary of the regulations can be found below. Following the unverified news reveal, the stocks of all Chinese education companies went down, even though the regulations had not been made official as of July 23rd. 2021. In particular, the price of stocks of leading education companies plunged drastically the following day. China's Ministry of Education formally announced the detailed regulations. Company, and here it has New Oriental Education Technology Group, how they went, how they dropped 54%. TAL Education Group dropped 70%. GSX Tech Edu Inc. dropped 63%. UDAO Inc. dropped 42%. China Online Education Group dropped 43%. Since February, tutoring companies have been facing the prospect of new regulations and or filing for deceptive marketing. This has led to stock price collapse, layoffs, and stopped IPO fundraising plans. Class Central previously reported on the $86 billion lost in market value. We also collected examples of deceptive marketing tactics employed by these companies. So here it has the charts in Chinese. Regulation details. The opinion regulates many aspects of Chinese education companies, from fundraising to advertisements for both online and offline education companies, together with over 15 Chinese national bodies, including the Ministry of Education, the Cyberspace Administration of China, and the Ministry of Finance of the People's Republic of China. Aspects, regulations, exam training, and non-exam training. So capitalization, company approval, training content, training time, training teachers, marketing, tuition management. Okay. Responses of Chinese education companies and local ministries of education. On July 24th, over 120 nationwide education companies, including New Oriental Education and Technology Group, Inc., TAL Education Group, UDAO, Inc., Gaotu Tech Edu, Inc., Yao Fandao, Zhao Yibang, VIPKID responded to the opinion with announcements on their official social media accounts. New Oriental will firmly support the decision and deployment of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China and the State Council thoroughly implement the spirit of the 19th National Congress of the Communist Party of China and the 5th plenary session of the 19th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, and deeply understand the significance of the double reduced work New Oriental Education and Technology Group announced on July 24th. By the end of July 26th, New Oriental Education and Technology Group, Inc. and New Oriental Education Technology Group, Inc. have lost 27.8 billion US dollars and 239 billion HKD, February 19th, 2021. A special section called Shuangjian Double Reduction in Action has been established on the website of the Ministry of Education to promote the application of new regulations. By the end of July 26th, over 10 provinces had responded to the opinion with practical measures. All right, so now I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to share one more article. Okay. This one is called China Tries to Spark Baby Boom by Destroying Its $140 Billion Tutoring Sector. Okay. They want a baby boom. I never thought I'd see the day. I thought they had a baby problem. I don't know. A population issue. What was it? Larry Chen is no longer a billionaire after Beijing imposed its tutoring restrictions. It's been a rough year for Larry Chen, who lost $22 billion since the year began. The former school teacher turned online education tycoon was one of China's richest men until its government imposed a policy that decimated his business. On July 24th, Beijing unveiled a set of regulations that banned the lucrative tutoring sector worth $140 billion from earning profits. To understand the scale of China's tutoring industry, Australia's is only worth a tiny fraction of that figure, about $1 billion, according to the data provided by the Australian Tutoring Association. Key points. Beijing says the tutoring industry has been severely hijacked by capital. Tutoring companies are now banned from earning profits. China's tutoring sector, worth $140 billion, is much bigger than Australia's $1 billion. Despite China's slowing economy, these new policies suggest President Xi Jinping is not interested in pursuing growth at any cost, living up his party's communist ideology. The Ministry of Education said it was cleaning up the for-profit education industry because it has been severely hijacked by capital. Here's the birth rate in China per 1,000, the death rate, and the natural growth rate. Okay, it's so-called double reduction policy, referring to the amount of homework getting slashed for kids, was ostensibly introduced to relieve the financial strain felt by most families. That way, they could worry less about the high cost of living and have more children to offset China's big economic problem, its rapidly aging population, which is a consequence of its former one-child policy. Consequences. How extreme is China's tutoring ban? As part of its double reduction policy, the Chinese government said private companies that teach core school subjects had to become non-profit organizations. Tutoring businesses were prohibited from listing on the stock market or raising capital from overseas. National goals were also evident, with China banning foreign companies from its investing in Chinese tutoring companies. It also banned the teaching of foreign curriculums and hiring of foreigners to teach. That's us. Then there was also the sense that China wanted to improve the work-life balance of the school-aged children. The government also banned online tutoring and teaching of the school curriculum for children younger than 6 years old. Another nail in the coffin was that Beijing's ban on all tutoring related to core school subjects during the weekends and holidays. That's usually prime time for tutoring companies, and when they made the most money. That's true. Billionaires no more. This sudden injection of socialism was bad news for the industry, which had boomed amid China's hyper-competitive education system. It was no surprise that a bout of panic selling ensued. It was no surprise that a bout of panic selling ensued across Chinese education stocks listed in Hong Kong and the United States. This caused Mr. Chen's education tech company, Gaotu Tech Edu, to lose 98% of its market value. Other tutoring giants, Tal TAL Education, and New Oriental have also shed more than 90% of their value since the beginning of 2021. JP Morgan analysis declare the rule changes made China's education sector uninvestable. Before the government launched its crackdown on private tutoring, the share price of Gaotu, which was called GSX, had already been falling for several reasons. They include its lackluster, I'm not sure, lackluster revenue forecasts, allegations of fraud by short sellers, and the collapse of a hedge fund which had significant investments in Mr. Chen's company. Meanwhile, Mr. Chen has become a shadow of his former self in dollar terms. He lost his billionaire status, with his net worth plunging to $328 million